So the FBI task force is headed to Memphis due to the crime rate, which no one can deny. But I think a lot of innocent people gonna get caught up in what's finna head to Memphis. So, mothers, fathers, aunties, the grandmas, the granddads, you might want to sit your young people down and have a talk with them, because it's just got serious. When that task force hits Memphis, anybody looking cockeyed gonna get it. And at the same time, they're passing laws that are taking away any accountability for any police officer in the line of duty. They're getting rid of organizations that investigate police abuse. They're getting rid of those. So, if you don't have the department or the organization to investigate, how do you investigate?
You know what's funny to me? All you see online about Memphis is the crime. You gotta ask yourself, why is that? Why is none of these young people who are graduating from high school with high GPA grade levels are ever mentioned? Young people that have gotten accepted into top colleges from this city have never been mentioned. You got to understand the games and the tricks that are played. All the videos is how bad Memphis is. It's a dump. This is an energy thing. This is a thing to make you feel low within yourself.
If you want to talk about the city of Memphis, make sure you talk about everything, not just the crime. Talk about the corruption in the local government. Talk about how the government caters to the white neighborhoods but neglect the black neighborhoods. And keep in mind, black people are the majority in the city of Memphis, whereas white people are the minority. The government caters to the white neighborhoods and completely neglect the black ones.
Why are y'all so fucking concerned about what's going on with regular people when we still have yet to see an arrest out of the politicians that y'all keep talking about need to be going down? This is what we talk about when we say that it's definitely some racist shit going on when it comes to the government. Because you're so focused on Memphis, Tennessee, with an FBI task force. You have criminals that are currently in Congress right now, and y'all not doing nothing with them.
You know, there's some conversations that you wish weren't necessary, some truths that feel too raw to speak out loud, and yet they echo so loudly you can't ignore them. That's how I feel talking about what's happening in Memphis, Tennessee. Because what are we seeing there? It's not just a spike in crime, it's a full-blown crisis. People aren't just worried, they are terrified, not just cautious. They are changing their entire way of life. This isn't about feeling a little unsafe walking at night. This is about needing to look over your shoulder just to bump gas in broad daylight. Memphis is out of control. There's no sugarcoating it. And if you think it's exaggerating, ask the people who live there. Listen to their stories. So what's being done about it? Well, that's where the conversation gets even more complicated, because now we are hearing that feds, the FBI, are coming to Memphis. And on the surface, that sounds like a step in the right direction, right? Federal resources, more boots on the ground, more surveillance, more firepower to deal with the rising violence. But not everyone's convinced that the reason they are coming is to help the citizens. One speaker said it plain. We know that's not the reason they're here. And when you listen to them, it starts to make a chilling kind of sense. Memphis has become a hotbed for large commercial interest. Elon Musk business ventures, Google infrastructure, big money projects with big stakes. And if you look at it from that lens, it raises the question, are the feds really coming to protect the people or the profits? Because let's be honest, there are other cities in America with serious crime issues, and yet Memphis is suddenly getting all this federal attention. Not New Orleans, not Baltimore, not parts of Chicago. Why Memphis? The answer, according to some, is not because the situation got worse, but because the money moved in. And now that billion-dollar companies have boots on Memphis soil, now it's worth cleaning up. That's a bitter pill to swallow. But even that bitter pill comes with mixed feelings. Because as one speaker said, if the feds do come in and they do crack down on the violence, even if it's for the wrong reasons, people might still be a little satisfied. Why? Because the situation has become so unbearable that even help with strings attached is better than no help at all.
Why the FBI just touched down in Memphis? Memphis is now being called the homicide capital of America, and the FBI is having to step in. The FBI is deploying a special task force to Memphis because the violent crimes are out of control. We're talking sky-high homicide rates, and not just in the streets. A Justice Department exposed excessive discrimination and excessive force inside of the Memphis Police Department itself. So this isn't just about crime, it's about accountability. The feds say that the MPD has a pattern of violating civil rights. So now the FBI has to step in to clean up the streets, and it's helping clean up the system. So if this can happen in Memphis, this can happen anywhere. But the real question is it going to bring about real change? Or is it just another headline? Is it too late for Memphis? Or can they bring real change?
Talk about how this city over time have completely gotten rid of all the things that this city once had that provided jobs and opportunities for our youth, but they got rid of it. What do you think happens when you get rid of everything that is to do for kids and teenagers? Of course, they're going to turn to the streets. They're going to turn towards violence. They're going to turn towards crime. Why? Because they have nothing else to do. They have nothing to look forward to in their neighborhood. When they step out of their front door, all they see is blight. Don't believe me? Drive through South Memphis. Drive through North Memphis. It's right in front of you. And then after you get done driving through those neighborhoods, drive through Germantown, drive through Collierville, drive through Cordova, and see all the shops, all the restaurants, all the movie theaters, all the fun family things to do. It's night and day. And then let's talk about how the county commissioners, all they're doing is collecting a check. Okay, we vote these people into office and they're not doing anything. Okay, they sit in these positions for years and you don't see what they've done, if anything. It was just on the news this morning that they were tearing down some apartments that have sat abandoned for over a decade in Oak Haven. Why is that? That's ridiculous. I bet you that would not fly in a predominantly white neighborhood though. So if you want to talk about the crime, let's talk about the root of the crime. Let's talk about the why of the crime. Don't just talk about the crime. Talk about everything else that's going on in this city that's adding fuel to the crime.
There's a kind of desperation in that thinking, and that is heartbreaking. The people of Memphis are demanding perfection. They are not asking for miracles. They just want to feel safe again. They want their kids to be able to walk to school. They want to bump gas without looking over their shoulders. They want to sleep at night without the sound of gunfire reminding them how close danger really is. And yet, we've got to face another hard truth here. Some believe this isn't a problem that can be fixed. One person said it clearly. Let's not pretend this crime situation can be fixed, because we always have good and evil. We'll always have crime. And to a certain extent, that's true. No city is perfect. No place is crime-free. But what we are seeing in Memphis isn't just another regular crime. It's a breakdown. It's systemic, cultural, psychological. And when you start believing that there's no way out, you start accepting the unacceptable. That's the dangerous part. When chaos becomes routine, when fear becomes your everyday mindset, just making it home alive feels like an achievement. That's not living, that's survival. And survival is not something citizens of one of America's great cities should have to settle for. I get emotional thinking about this because these aren't just statistics. These are real people, grandmothers, children, fathers, families. They are watching their city fall apart while the rest of the country treats it like footnote. And even when help arrives, they have to ask, who is it really for? There is also the psychological toll this kind of environment creates. People grow numb. They stop reporting crimes. They stop trusting institutions. And that's when communities truly start to decay from the inside out. Because it's not just the violence on the outside that destroys a city, it's the hopelessness on the inside. And let's talk about that a little more. Hopelessness. Because when a city gets labeled as out of control, when it becomes known not for its culture or its music or its resilience, but for its murder rate, that sticks. It becomes an identity, and the more you tell people that they are unsafe, they are helpless, that their city is broken, the more they start to believe it. That's why it matters how we talk about Memphis. This isn't just a cautionary tale. This is a city fighting for its soul, and while some want to write it off as unfixable, others still believe there's path forward. A hard path, yes, but not impossible.
So, mothers, fathers, aunties, grandmas, granddads, you might want to sit your young people down and have a talk with them, because it's just got serious. When that task force hits Memphis, anybody looking cockeyed gonna get it. And at the same time, they're passing laws that are taking away any accountability for any police officer in the line of duty. They're getting rid of organizations that investigate police abuse. They're getting rid of those. So, if you don't have the department or the organization to investigate, how do you investigate? If they're no longer holding them accountable, what's going to prevent them from living out their fantasies?
It's not lost on anyone that crime didn't start yesterday in Memphis. This violence didn't appear out of nowhere. It's been building. Years of economic neglect, failing schools, broken trust between law enforcement and communities they serve. All of that contributes to where we are today. But here's the thing, just because it's been happening for a long time doesn't mean it's normal or acceptable or something we just live with. Memphis deserves better. The people who live there deserve better. And yes, that includes accountability from local officials, from law enforcement, from federal government, but it also includes listening to people who've been crying out for years, long before federal agents stepped in, because they knew it was getting out of hand. They saw the signs, they lived through the trauma, and now they're left wondering if their lives are only valuable when corporates start setting up shop in their backyard. That's a hard truth to sit with, but it's real. And as someone watching this unfold from outside, I can't just stay silent, because silence is complicity. And if we don't talk about what's happening in Memphis, if we don't raise the alarm, ask the tough questions, and demand more, then who will? We can't afford to look away. We can't afford to let another city slide into decay while we focus on superficial narratives. This is deeper than crime statistics. It's about human dignity, about the right to live in peace, about the need for justice that's not selective but universal. So yes, the situation in Memphis is wild, it's out of control, but it's not beyond redemption. And the people who live there, who still believe in the city, they deserve a fighting chance. Whether the feds are coming to protect the people or the profits, one thing is clear, something has to change, because the status quo is no longer an option. And if we have any conscience left, we'll pay attention, we'll speak up, will demand better. Not tomorrow, not eventually, but right now. Guys, drop a comment. I want to know what you think about this particular topic. Also remember to subscribe, like and share as well. And until next time, bye bye.